Hello, this is Walter Latham, and welcome to the Walt Weekly. I am your host, and I'm joined by your co-host, Michelle Sweeney McCombs, and I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. With that said, we got to get back to business, right? So we're getting back to business. And I'm going to turn it over to Michelle for the introduction of our guest for tonight's episode. Michelle?
Welcome. Thank you for joining the Walt Weekly podcast. Today we have a North Carolina native visiting us today for an interview with the Walt Weekly, our first interview of the new year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
All right, so we have Patricia W. Broward out of North Carolina. She's a writer. Patricia is a 1999 graduate of Winston-Salem State University, where she received a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting. She was a licensed insurance agent before working in corporate taxes with the state of North Carolina for 16 years. Congratulations on that.
Yes.
That's an
Thank
accomplishment.
you.
She started writing. You're welcome. She started writing career at an early age with personalized poetry written to loved ones, writing and performing plays at her local church. She has also always loved to write, whether it was short stories of suspense, thrills, action, or drama. Patricia published her first book of inspirational poetry, Edifying Expressions, in 2003. I'm not going to give all of her secrets away, but we also would like to talk to you about your personal stuff going on as well, and enlighten us and our audience on you. And welcome to the Walt Weekly podcast, and we're looking
Thank
forward to
you.
hearing your story.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so
Back to you.
much.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
And I appreciate this awesome opportunity to share my story and to share my journey with multiple sclerosis. I was diagnosed in 2004 with MS. And I have been living with multiple sclerosis, like I said, since 2004.
Wow.
I thank God that I'm doing well with it. And I am a living witness that you can live well with multiple sclerosis and other chronic diseases.
Amazing. I definitely have questions.
It started. My girlfriend and I, we used to walk every day at lunchtime. We had an hour for lunch, and we would walk the first 30 minutes of lunch, and then eat the last 30 minutes. And when we would walk, she would always get on me about my balance. She was like, well, why can't you walk in a straight line? Because I was always veering over into her side of the walkway. And so I was having severe headaches. I was falling down a lot and just other things that were going on. And so when I went to see my primary care physician, he said, Miss Broward, I'm going to send you to see a neurologist because something is not right with you. He later told me that he thought it was brain tumors before my diagnosis. So when I saw my neurologist, she did the MRI, and then she did a lumbar puncture, spinal tap, to confirm that it was multiple sclerosis. And upon my discovery, it was very devastating to me. I was only 34 years old. And I had seen MS up close and personal. I had some aunts that had it, and then my sister-in-law had it as well. So the first battle that I had to overcome was fear. It was like fear gripped me because I was like I said earlier, I saw MS up close and personal, and I saw how it did your body, and I saw what kind of challenges people had that live with MS. But I just thank God because I just took hold to the scripture. It's one of my favorite scriptures, actually. It's Lamentations 3:22. That is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not, and his mercy is new to us every day. And I just said I was going to embrace the truth that yes, I have MS, but MS doesn't have me. So I thank God that he gave me the strength and the courage that I needed. And it gave me an awesome support system of family and friends to help me along the way.
All
So
right, that's
that was
excellent.
my
That's
initial, yes, that was my initial diagnosis.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Miss Broward.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
Yeah.
you're
So
welcome.
tell me,
Wow.
I don't want to dwell so much on the disability because I do have some issues myself, which are,
Yes.
monumental in a sense. But
Mhm.
I don't want to dwell so much on that. But I do want the audience to know, as you were, alluding to, that you can live with chronic diseases. You can move on with your
Oh,
life.
yes, most
So
definitely.
was that
Yeah.
what prompted you to start writing, or what did you do to try to, flatten or
Yes,
adjust to having that and getting on with your
yes.
life?
I've always been a writer. I've always loved to write, and it was something that I did. Like I said, from my childhood, I can remember just writing, always, always, always writing. And so before my diagnosis, I would just really write by myself, and really not publish anything, but just writing for my own benefit. And so
Mhm.
after we've had some terrible circumstances, my husband found my journal and he saw my poetry that I had written and he told me, he said, Patricia, why don't you publish this? I was like, I never really thought about it. And he said, well, you should publish it. It was very good. Let me back up and tell you about what happened. My husband and I was married in 1995. 3 years into our marriage, we experienced a terrible loss. He lost his brother on a Tuesday and he lost his mother on a
Wow.
Thursday of the same week. And so
Man.
that was very
Wow.
devastating. And yeah, wow, that's right. That was very devastating. And we had to maneuver through that. And it was like basically he didn't abuse me in any kind of way, but he just shut down. He didn't really know how to cope with that
Wow.
tremendous
Right.
amount of pain. So he just basically shut down, and so I just would go away and write, and I would just write, 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 write. And so after
Wow.
he kind of moved past his traumatic experience, he found my journal and he told me I should publish it. So that's where Edifying Expressions came from, and it's a collection of like 100 poems. And so then after
Wow.
that, I just continued to write and I wrote a daily devotional where you read something different every single day. And then I wrote the second
Mhm.
part to the devotional. And then I wrote the big one, which was a book about forgiveness, motivated by God's love to forgive. And that was
Yeah.
very,
Mhm.
very hard to write because I know we all, if we can admit to it, have some issues with forgiveness in our lives.
Of course.
Yeah.
I can.
It,
Mhm.
absolutely. And to have the strength, the inner strength to do what you've done.
Yes.
I That's just amazing. I mean, you are an
Right.
example for people living with disability and not
Mhm.
letting it get the best of you, to continue with your life, to keep trying to move forward. And I see
Yes.
you've written
Right.
7 books, 6 published,
Yes.
1 audiobook with the publisher. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
What an
it's like
accomplishment.
you thank you. I appreciate that. It's like you can't just stop. You never know what you're going to face in this life. I have MS, but MS might not be what take me out. Something else might take me out. But you just can't
That's true.
stop
Right.
at your disability, but
Right.
you have to. I heard somebody say it. I don't know who coined this phrase, but I have MS, but MS doesn't have me, and that's the way I feel. I just feel like each day that
Yeah.
I live is an opportunity for me to make the best out of my life and to glorify God in the process.
That's fantastic. I mean,
Amen. Yeah.
I'm somewhat speechless, a little awkward. You have to, just excuse me for that. But that's why I wanted you on the show so much, because
Oh,
you
thank
are
you.
living with adversity, like a lot of people that may be in a similar situation, or they may have something else.
Mhm.
Like in me, I got type 2 diabetes, right? So that
Okay.
prohibits me from doing a lot of things that I would normally do, that I was accustomed to doing growing up. My natural,
Mhm.
you know, uh, being active, playing golf, swimming,
Mhm.
diving,
Mhm.
scuba diving, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of things I had to try to acclimate to the
Mhm.
difference.
And adjust. It's an adjustment.
Yes. And,
Mhm.
like I always told my kids, you either adapt or you die. That's just the way
Mm.
life is.
Mm.
You have your ups and downs in life. That's what makes life worth living, when you can,
Yes,
surpass or overcome the adversity that life throws out to you. And you're a typical
that's true.
example of that. And I appreciate you for being that way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. Like I said. Mm.
Oh yeah, hey, definitely. I'm so happy to have you on the show, to really just get back
Mm.
to, what makes us tick. You know, how do we
Mhm.
Yeah.
navigate through life? You know, what can
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
happen to us? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely it's definitely a personal um situation. You have to just see what makes you rely on the Lord and what makes you not, because everybody doesn't believe the same way that I believe. But I would say 100% a surety that it was God that helps me to maneuver through life. I pray and ask Him to help me every step of the way. And so when I came off my job, like I said, I used to work in corporate taxes. And when I came off my job, it was very hard because, like I said, I was diagnosed at 34. And then when my neurologist told me, she said, Miss Broward, you're going to have to come off that job to have a better quality of life. Because at the time, it was like I was coming home, taking a shower, going to bed every day. And that was all that I could do.
Wow.
So then
Right.
my hours were cut. I was thankful that I was able to work abbreviated hours, and that helped me. But she said, you're not living the best life because, MS is really taking control of you. So that was
Wow.
a hard thing for me to do. But afterwards, somebody say afterwards, that I
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
able to maneuver through that situation, and I was able to, stop my job, and I started volunteering and doing other things that, I was capable of doing, because working a 8-hour job every day just wasn't getting it for me. So I'm thankful that I was able
Right.
to, come off that job and live a good life. And I'm thankful that I'm living a good life. I went from taking medication for MS every month for 5 months when I first was diagnosed. I was taking it every month for 3 days every month. And then after that, I started taking it once a month. And then now I'm just taking it twice a year. So
Oh,
it's
that's
like it gets
awesome.
Wow.
better.
That
Yeah,
is
it is. It
awesome.
gets better with time. So I'm thankful for
Yeah.
that. I really am.
I tell you
Time
what.
and discipline.
I tell you what,
Yes,
Pat.
yes.
You don't mind me calling you Pat, do you?
No, 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 no.
Okay. I tell you what. I mean, you are an example. I mean, even for me, I have my issues, but looking at you and listening to you, gives me gives me motivation to continue because I know that
Well,
in
thank
time
you. I
you will
appreciate
too.
that. To God be the glory. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you on the show. Michelle, you have anything
Thanks.
for Patricia?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So I have a question in reference to MS. So
Okay.
my ex-husband has it,
Really?
right? I- Is
Okay.
this an hereditary? Like, is it
You know
genetically
what,
something that
Michelle?
you
They
could pass
say
on
it.
to a child?
They
Mm-hmm.
say it's not hereditary, but I don't see how it's not, because like I said, I had aunts that had it, and then I had my aunt's son that had it. And so I think it is hereditary, but they officially say it's not hereditary. But my daddy's
Yeah, it's weird
sisters,
because when, hmm
mhm,
yeah, right. It definitely is because when I found out that he had it, I wanted to get my son
mhm,
tested.
mhm.
And at the time, he was a teenager, and they told me that they don't test until you're an adult,
Wow.
or they need a reason to test you. Like something has to happen before they actually test you for it.
Oh,
That
wow.
didn't make me comfortable. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So the only advice they gave is, make sure he eats properly. Watch what he eats. So I'm constantly telling him, be careful with the things that you eat because later on it could affect you.
Mhm.
So his dad is actually he gets a shot.
Right.
So he gets an actual shot every month, but he's also a pilot
Okay.
and he's still flying. So it's not
Wow.
affecting
That's
him.
great.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
as long as he takes his meds. So it's like my son is 28 now. How do you like go about trying to find out if you have it or not? What tests are there that you can actually tell our audience that are
Yeah.
interested or have a history of it in their family? What do they do to find out more about it and how to get tested for it?
Yeah. Like you said earlier, really, unless he shows some symptoms, and then they do the MRI that shows the lesions on your brain and spine, and then they do the spinal
Hmm.
tap, the lumbar puncture to actually take the fluid out and see if there any MS in the fluid. There's really nothing else that they can do, and that's unfortunate.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that they are now doing more um, research for MS, but
Hmm.
right now that's the
Hmm.
only two things that they do is the MRI
Wow.
to see the lesions on your
Right.
brain and to do the lumbar
Right.
puncture to take the fluid out of your spine. Um,
Wow.
but like I said earlier, you know,
Mm.
MS is a autoimmune disease that affects your the coating on your cells. It's like, your cells are coated and protected, and those cells coating breaks, and that's where they
Mm.
get multiple from. So it just breaks into little pieces, and it hardens, and that's where they get sclerosis from. So it's like
Wow.
it affects your brains of function to tell your body what's to do. Like, like you can't tell your body to walk. Some people can't
Wow.
see. It affects everybody differently. But I'm
Wow.
thankful that my main thing that I deal with is mobility. I'm still walking, I can still drive a little bit. And it's like
Mm.
right now I'm doing physical therapy, and that's helping me
Hmm.
with my mobility. But you just have
Wow.
to just take one day at a time and just say, Lord, just help me every day. And that's not a cliche when people say take one day at a time. That's really not a cliche,
Yeah.
it's the truth. You have to
Right. It's
say,
the truth.
Lord, help me take one day at a time, because we don't ever know what we're going to face from day to day.
True.
Very
Very
Yes.
true.
true.
Yes.
Very true. Not to make
Wow.
light of your illness, but I had a golf buddy of mine he was in my group, John, for instance. And every time we got to the tee box and he went to tee up his ball, you put the ball on top of a tee. So you got to bend down and just
Mhm.
place that ball just right so it'll stay on the tee
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
you get ready to hit it. So John, we used to
Right.
always mess with him, man. Say, okay, man, I know we're gonna be here 15 minutes waiting for you to tee the ball up. So, let me just, get used to the idea that we gotta wait. But turns out that those were signs of Parkinson's.
Wow.
All right.
Really.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's like, balancing and and stuff like that. And he was having that problem.
Wow.
And we found out that
Wow.
he had Parkinson's, so he could no longer play golf with us and stuff like that. But and
Mhm.
I commend you on being able to, and I hope that our audience would take from your experiences on tackling this disease and
Yes.
apply it to their own situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be MS. It could be
Mhm.
uh, diabetes. It could be Parkinson's. It could be Lou
Right.
Gehrig's disease.
Right. Right.
A lot of different things that you can apply this. You just need the
Yes.
willpower and
Hmm.
you need the support. Did you ever
Most
feel like you didn't
definitely.
have the support, or did you just that was always there?
It was all that's something I can honestly say and really thank God for. I have a tremendous amount of support from my family and friends. And it's like they are
Hmm.
constantly helping me um, and offering support, even when I don't want it. Sometimes I become
Wow.
overwhelmed because it's like everybody is always saying, Patricia, you need this, you need that. And I don't take it personal because it's a blessing because everybody can't say that. But sometimes it's like you feel
Right.
overwhelmed when people are constantly, asking you, do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help? But I have now learned to just embrace the truth that people love you and they want to help you. So that is a blessing. That's something that I had to learn and grow into because, like I said, I was diagnosed when I was 34 years old, and it was very
Mm.
overwhelming to me. It was
Yeah,
very
that's prime
overwhelming to
time
me.
too. That's prime time, really.
Wow.
Yeah, when you're
Hmm
34, you still think you're in your 20s, actually.
Yes,
I know when
yes.
I was 34, I thought I
Yeah.
was still in my 20s. But anyway,
That's right. Now, I was just going to say that is something, Michelle, that I really truly appreciate is the support that I receive from my husband down to my
Yeah.
sisters and brothers, my pastor and his wife, and just church family. Everybody is very supportive of me and they help me out so much. and it's a blessing. It really is.
Nothing like support. There's nothing like good
Yeah, that's
support.
the truth.
So I'm gonna,
That's the truth.
yeah, it is. You have to have that support in order to get through it, really.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't
That's
be
true.
stubborn about it either.
Yes.
Sometimes our egos takes over,
Oh yeah. Oh
but
yes.
getting help, you're so used to being independent that you don't know how to
Yes.
accept help,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
and
had
I
a
think we all have that.
yeah, I had a
Hmm.
dear sister from my church told me it was pride one time. She said, "You just being prideful,
Yeah,
Patricia."
exactly. That's exactly what
Yeah.
it
And I said, "Ouch," and moved on.
Oh
is.
yeah,
Right.
of course. I mean, even with my illness and the things that I can't do like I normally would do, you know, it's tough. That vanity is
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
can't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That vanity is there.
Especially when you're used to
Right.
doing, you know what I'm saying? When you're used to doing and living your life, and then, just something attacks you out of the blue. Like I said, I had no idea it was MS
Right.
I was dealing with.
Now,
Wow.
I want to talk about the positive, the great things that you've accomplished. You, like I said earlier, you've written 7 books, 6 published, and 1 pending. Well, you're already
Mm-hmm.
finished it. It's with the
Hmm.
publisher. So
Right.
let's talk about your author, being an author, a writer. You are a writer, really.
Okay. Yes.
Let's talk
I
about that.
enjoy,
Right.
yes, like I said earlier, I really, really, really enjoy writing. It takes me to a place of calm. It takes me to a place where I can be by myself and really you there with your thoughts and your expressions and experiences. Um, my book of poetry, like I said, it came when Gregory and I was dealing with, the insurmountable pain of him losing his brother and mother within the same week. And so
Hmm.
I just started writing. It, it was like a way of escape for me. And I was just write,
Right.
write, 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 write. And then that's when he said, "Why don't you get these published?" And I did. So that was book one, Edifying Expressions. And then my daily devotional, it just came about with I used to wake up like at maybe 3 o'clock every morning, and I would go into the other bedroom so I wouldn't disturb Gregory. And I would take my journals, my Bible, and um, go in there, and I would just write, 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 write. And it would be a
Hmm.
thought or an expression or something I experienced, and I would just write about that. And then that's how Daily Mercies Revealed came about. That's the name
Hmm.
of my book, Daily Mercies Revealed, because his mercies were revealed to me every day. And then, like
Wow.
I said, um, he gave me motivated by God's love to forgive. That
Hmm.
book was about releasing forgiveness because I didn't realize I had unresolved hatred or unforgiveness in my heart until he brought it
Hmm.
to the forefront of my mind. So when he brought it to the forefront of my mind, I began to pen my feelings and expressions. And it was like he gave me the title, "You have to be motivated by God's love in order to forgive. You can't do it on your
Right.
own. You have to be
Right.
motivated by him."
That's
So
right.
then Sword Diamond is the name of my fiction novel. Like I say, the characters are fictional, but the content is real because I write about the millions of children that are abused every year. And the book
Mm.
chronicles the life of this young girl that faced insurmountable pain and adversity, but she survives. So the second part of Soil Diamond is coming out. It's any day now, really. It's at the publisher now. So
Yeah, I
then
was gonna
my
ask when is the second book out? Hmm.
yeah,
Good.
it's going to be out any day now. I just signed off on the edits the other day, so it's going to be out
Okay.
any day now. So you can follow me on my website
Hey,
to
what's that?
see. Yeah, it's Edifying You, and that's UYOU spelled out. www.edifyingyou.com.
All right, people. Y'all heard that?
Mm-hmm.
We'll put that in
All
Yeah.
the.
right. It'll be in
Mhm.
the show notes, but people, y'all can go to that
Yes.
website if it's something that maybe relates to someone in your extended family or your family. At least,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
check this out. Yeah, go ahead.
And then I'm
Right.
writing, finally, I'm writing a memoir about my journey with MS. So I'm excited about that, even though it was kind of hard to revisit those terrible years when I first was diagnosed, but I am penning those experiences and expressions and everything that I went through. And so it's
Right.
embracing the truth. It's embracing the truth that healing comes in many ways.
It sure
Amen.
does.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
It
I agree
does.
with
It really does.
I just want to spend some more time with these books now. All right.
Okay.
You done 6.
So yeah, yeah. I was
Good.
gonna ask her about the one that's fictional, the
Mhm.
four-part series. What
Yes.
inspired you to do that one? I know
Okay.
it's yeah. Does it have
Yeah, it
anything to do with anything personally, or it's
No,
just
it doesn't. And it's like, it's amazing that you asked me that because someone else have asked me that too. It's not from my personal experience, like anything I experienced, but it is through friends, circumstances, and different things I've encountered, like say like stories that I heard about, people telling me about, things like that. And then it just dropped in my
right?
mind one day to write about it. And it just
Okay.
follows, like I said, it just chronicles the life of this young girl that grew up in an orphanage from birth until age 11.
Hmm.
She was adopted at age 11. And then when she was adopted at age 11, her adoptive father started molesting her.
Okay.
So she goes through
Oh,
that traumatic experience and she lives and she survives. And it just talks about her survival through all of that
mm,
she been through. So it's
okay.
actually, like I said, part of a 4-book series. So this is book number
Right.
2. It's at the publisher. And the other 2 books are
Awesome.
written. Yeah, they're written, but they're just not published.
Boy,
How
And it
long
was
does
a
it
way,
take you to do it?
actually, that's what I was going to share. This book was published, I mean, this book was written in 2010. My father died in
Oh,
2010. He had lung cancer, and it was a way of
wow.
escape for me. Have y'all ever heard of a town called Middlesex, North Carolina?
Yes, I have.
I haven't.
You
I
have?
love
Okay,
North
that's where
Carolina. I haven't
that's where
heard of
I'm
it.
originally from. So when I got married in '95, my husband and I moved to Raleigh, and we've been living here ever since. But I would
Nice.
go down to Middlesex. His treatment was in Wilson, and I would come back
Mm,
home, and then I would lose myself in this book. This is no exaggeration. I started writing the book in March of 2010, and I finished
mm,
December 2010, and I had 865 pages. So
wow.
that's why I broke it up into 4 books. So,
Okay.
but the book is complete, so it just has to be published.
All right.
Amazing. Where can they purchase your book? Is it through
Yes, yes, it's definitely
Amazon? Is it on
yes.
Amazon or any other
It is.
marketing
It is.
level?
Yes, it is. It really anywhere where books are sold, but you can purchase it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, um, anywhere you purchase books, you can purchase
Okay.
my book and my website or the website of the publisher, which is Pendium
Mm-hmm.
Publishing House. That's the name of the publisher,
Okay.
Pendium Publishing House.
Now, how
Awesome.
do you spell the pen?
Thank you.
P E
Pendium?
N. Yes, that's exactly right. Pendium
Pendium
Publishing House.
Publishing. Okay. All right, good. Now, you had mentioned that some of your books are nonfiction and some are fiction.
Hmm.
All right. You started with the nonfiction first, right? From
Yes, of course.
and
That's all
now you're moving
inspirational.
towards nonfiction. What made you make that move between fiction and nonfiction?
Well, like I said, all my books have been inspirational. This Soil Diamond that I was wrote in 2010 is my first fiction novel. But like I said, even in that, the characters are fictional, but the content is real. I mean, there's
Mm,
somebody somewhere suffering childhood abuse, and they're living
right.
with the residue from the childhood abuse. I don't think it was
Right.
a specific transition that I made. It just happened, to be honest with you.
Mm,
It was just something in my head that I put on paper that, turned out to be a 4-book series.
That's
amazing.
amazing. I'm so proud.
Hmm. Well,
And,
thank you. I appreciate that.
So I just want to touch back on MS again.
Okay.
Outside of um, within your own circle, with your family, your friends, your husband,
Hmm. Hmm.
and did you seek any exterior help as far as finding out more about MS, getting more
Oh,
information about it,
oh
just
yes,
research
yes,
on it? Did you get any help?
yes, I did
And
early
can you
on.
refer anything to anyone that has MS to any organizations or anything that you
Yes.
experienced during your time?
Yes. I would say the MS Society was a very good resource for me. And also, my doctor, he's retired now, but he actually founded Raleigh Neurology, and he used to do seminars all the time. So I would say any seminars that you see or are available that talks about MS, I would suggest that. And it's like it opens up a whole range of resources that you can go to learn more about it. So I would definitely say the MS Society would be a good tool. And then any
Great.
seminars that you see that are available, I would definitely recommend those.
Are
Great.
there any
Thank you.
groups?
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Are there any groups that you attend? Like, you have a group of people all that have a similar problem or issue.
No, early on, like I said, I was diagnosed in 2004. Early on, I did attend group sessions, which was
Right.
very good. It was just a group of people getting together, talking about their different challenges with MS. But I haven't in recent years. I haven't, but before I did when I was initially diagnosed.
Have you ever thought about doing a book on it or become an advocate?
Yes, I have. Um, Actually, like I said, my book about my memoir, so to speak, is talking about MS and my journey with it and how I felt when I first was diagnosed and where I am now. I was like, when I
Okay.
first was diagnosed, it was like so hard because I couldn't believe that I was diagnosed with MS because like I said, I've seen
Right.
it up close
Right.
and personal and I knew what it was about. And I just had no idea that was going on in my body. I mean, whew, I tell you, I just thank God that I'm on the other side of the
hmm
equation now. You know what I'm saying? Even though every day I still have challenges and I still feel it, but I'm just thankful that I'm living well with MS. I am.
That's fantastic.
Thank
And
you. I
congratulations
appreciate
on
it. I
your
do.
journey,
Yes.
your
Okay.
Thank you.
medical
Thank you
journey
so much.
and your writing career. Congratulations on both of those
All
Thank
right.
you. I
All right.
accomplishments.
appreciate it.
I'm gonna ask you
Thank you.
one thing, Patricia, before we go. All right.
Okay, sure.
What do you want to share with our audience? I mean, everything that you said is great, but in closing, what would you like our audience to remember?
Yeah, I would just like to encourage them that whatever you face in life, keep on persevering. Um, don't ever stop. You have to keep on going on, regardless of what it is. It may be sickness, it may be a situation, or death in some cases, and you feel like it stops you, but you just have to keep persevering and relying on God as your source. And like I said, Lamentations 3 and 22 is my go to scripture all the time. It's of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed because his compassion fails not. So I'm thankful for that.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for
I've
that.
Thank
learned a
you.
lot.
Thank
I mean,
y'all.
one thing of the benefit of hosting a show like ours is that we get to learn also with the
Hmm.
Yeah,
audience,
definitely.
and
hmm
what we learn, we're trying to pass it down over to the audience.
And
So
that's
we're
Right.
appreciative.
fortunate to be in this
Mm.
position and fortunate to have guests like you. All right. Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So I think that's it. I want to thank you again. Michelle, you can take it from
You
here.
are so welcome.
All right. On
All
you.
right. Thank you. We'd like to thank our guest today, Patricia W. Brower from North Carolina. We'd like to thank our host, Walter Latham Sr., and co-host, Michelle Sweeney McCombs. You can find us at www.thewaltweekly.com, social media and Facebook, and Instagram at The Walt Weekly. Thank you. Happy New Year to all. God bless.
Yes.
And take care.
Thank you so
Good
much
night.
again for the opportunity. Y'all have a good night.
All right. You too.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night.